new time-comers and move on from there. So, the creative approach to your own wellness. I don't know how much structured exercise or what activity you can enjoy doing and what can really benefit you. So, true story, my younger brother went to play softball for the first time in a number of years, 20 years probably. He said he came home, he was 33. He came home, said, I've never been so sore in my entire life. He had a 47-year-old he played with, was running circles around him. Hence, the guy had been playing for every year for like 30 years straight, ever since he was 17 years old. So the condition you're in. So here's that problem. I want to be active and I want to go play a recreational sport, but all of a sudden, you run into it and you have an injury. So it's like, wait a minute, I just want to do that because I like that. I don't like to go in and walk like a rat on a treadmill. But it's a process of like, how do we start and how do you make sense to move forward and to highlight some very specific things that are important for you to kind of keep you in a good place. You know, everybody has their situation and their sets of experiences. So some exercises and some, we have to think about Pilates and yoga. So I want you to feet close together. All right, I want you to bend your knees a little bit. And I want you, no, not too much, just a little bit. Now I want you to accentuate really tall at the waist, okay? And he's going to pinch his shoulders back. You take another big deep breath in a little bit, okay? And he's not going to hold back. No, he's has pretty good posture actually. You turn to the side here, do that same movement, okay? Okay, no, right here. You can see he has pretty good posture. He must be in fitness business. Okay, so now turn back here again, okay? Now what I want you to do is I want you to slowly lift up one heel of your foot and go to stand on one leg. You can bend this leg a little bit more for me. Tall at the waist, right? Chin up, exactly. Hold it right there, okay? And now what I want you to do is put your arms out to your side, all the way out, straight out, lock out straight, okay? And now what I want you to do is I want you to try to stick your butt out a little bit and just squat down a little bit and then push back up. And push back up, okay? Now put your arms above your head, all the way above your head like a field goal, okay? Now go ahead and try to do the same thing. Stick your butt out, squat down a little bit. Keep those arms up, head chest up. Try it again. That arm and leg can go up a little bit. Yeah, exactly. Okay. What was more difficult? A little more stability factor up here? Okay. You can let your arms down. Okay. You can go sit down real quick. So what we're trying to have him identify with is reintroducing him to his body and controlling his own body weight. How many times have you seen people that go in and they go to a fitness program and they're going to jump into a machine. They're going to jump in and put some weights on their back. And they start to do big dramatic movements. They get into a machine and they go through these actions. As opposed to being a little bit more with their own body on how they're controlling their body weight. I go to the first phase when I work with people is I want to try to reintroduce them to their bodies and get reconnected to their bodies before they get connected to a machine. Because ultimately, the majority of exercises that most people can do that will complement your structural integrity you don't need a machine. Okay? Even the most fit people can do a number of exercises. For example, I'm more concerned about a person really in tune with their own body, being able to do a move which just enables them to use their own body weight. I'm 180 pounds, carrying it on one leg and controlling myself in an active environment. When I slip on the ice and I go to fall, I don't have weights on my back, right? So my stabilizers, the smaller muscles in my body, how in tune are being dynamic. So it's almost like going, okay, think if you're a kid again, now just squat down, now stand up, now move over here and pick up this. So very functional. So I want to emphasize that to a high degree, to a 67-year-old man, to a 23-year-old athlete, to start. If they don't know how they're carrying their body through space, all the way to extreme power athlete, doing, you've had people doing leapfrogs, jumping up and carrying their body through space. Obviously the younger people can throw them through, they're a little more pliable. An older person does that with dramatic force load. Okay, so it's very intense on the body. So before I can get that advanced athlete to do that kind of really extreme activity, say he's a volleyball player or he's a football player jumping up and exploding. I'm giving those extremes, right? But the 67-year-old man, I'm more concerned about his connectedness to his foot on the floor and his ability to kind of control his body weight. And we go through that process. So, emphasizing reconnecting with the body. Okay? Okay? So yeah, the machines are there, the environment's there, and it's there to complement. I always tell people, okay, first we're going to get you structurally aware and functionally a little bit more strong and more compass level as you carry your body weight, and then we go to the buff zone of, it's a buffer, so we can polish it up. Polish your chrome with machines and extra dumbbells and extra stress. So people, instead of taking yourself to a machine, when you do that, or that extra external resistance, you're bringing resistance to you. You're not going to it to try to respond to it there. You're trying to respond from here as it's coming at you. What is it? How you feel, how do you respond, and how you react. So that's that little bit of a shift in ideology. We don't look for potholes and stuff, right? We walk on solid ground. So what he's going to do now, this is the Eric's pad, and JR is going to stand here, okay? And he's going to face you guys, and he's just going to march for me. He's going to march with his hands free, and this is how he marches. Now he's going to stop. He's just going to stand there. Now, could you imagine if our world, you woke up tomorrow, and your world felt like that? You're on another planet. All of a sudden, the neurological response, what he's feeling through his feet, that feels softer than your shoes, correct?
Yes.
That feels softer than the earth you walk on,
Yes.
correct? Okay. So what he's standing there right now, and he's relaxed. I didn't tell him to do anything with his body. This is kind of how he's made up. And he's a pretty fit guy. There's no heavy distortion in the shoulders. Did you play any sports?
No.
No sports. Were you one of those eggheads or artists like me?
Just whatever, a little artist.
Okay, right. So being creative in how we approach things, right? And this is what I've done. I used to work in advertising, left that field 16 years ago, and I use my creative energies to try to inspire people to look at exercise, or what I like to say, movement, to increase that movement and help with keeping you in a better physiological state as far as spinal health, okay? So now what we're going to do is he's stand there, and I'm going to ask him to put his feet just a little bit closer together. All right? Not that close, just a little bit relaxed, okay? All right, and what he's going to do for me is, I start here. We're going to take a big breath. And you're going to relax that. And a lot of people do shallow breathing, but I'm asking him to really fill his diaphragm. Go ahead and do it again. You can see how his chest expands. You've lifted the weights, haven't you? Okay? So I want you to bring that up, tall the waist, expand. Yeah, just lift it. Yeah, breathe in. Okay. You're going to have to bring your shoulders back just a little bit. Don't touch much of your head right now. And just, I want you to hold that. Now he's in attention. From the waist up, he's in attention. It's like, okay, now I'm going to challenge you to use that control of your breath. You're in tune with your breath. And that focus, that concentration, that focus, right? And get them up in doing real-time active action movements, functional movements. Not expect them to be an athlete, but your variation of the theme. So putting you in your comfortable shoes, putting you on a stable environment, forcing you to work on your balance and your proprioceptive awareness on a stable environment, most people are pretty confident. And then it's like, hey, guess what? We get to go to level 2, and we're going to challenge them and make it a little bit more fun. And all of a sudden, by the time they get that point, they go into level 2, if they're automatically right away ready for it, or you build them up to it, they're going to dig it because they're like, okay, this is tough. I need to try to do this. And it gets back home to that competitiveness, but there's it's just real like, okay, I'm going to get this. So it gets down to practical functionality and ability to be good on your feet. So I'm not claiming to be able to teach them rhythm, but I'm going to, I'd say one of the main things I do, I'm going to get you better on your feet, keep you good on your feet. And that's really the idea of that firm surface. The isometric pose, right? We're getting the transverse plane. You guys are on level 2. Go to each side and just hold it. And feel that action in your core requirement to be upright and activated. Okay? And you can see that you can just reverse it.
This would be so awkward.
Take a back step. Take a back step. And go into your standing stance. Okay? Our base foundation, right? Our base foundation is our core, and we're like half of our body is a statue, planted, and show you what you can rotate. Soften the arms a little bit. Good. Just another little bit more. There you go, like that. Good. Anywhere or 2% of stress. open. Again, once you feel good with your shoulders open, you try to do the same, right, rotation for me. And just try to hold it. Good. And hold that and breathe. Feel what's going on. Good. Don't try to break records. Just try to think that your range of motion is, and then keeping the optimal core activation, and then ease back to center, and try the other direction. Good. And okay, maybe do 1, 2, 3. Come back to center. Go the other direction. Give me a 5 count. Have your clients count. You got equal distribution of both legs. Between. Good. Just giving time to center. Got a little bit of mobility down at the bottom, okay? And so increasing rep counts. Again, all kinds of variations. Okay? You guys want to go right into some good mornings with this? Okay? Try to get in the middle, right? Try to keep those arms up, relax them next to the ears, and let's try to, the legs are bending a little bit. Try to fold at the waist and try to fly like Superwoman. Okay? Head down. Keep your head in control position as opposed to bringing it back. Use your visual, hold, stabilize, and ease up. To assess the client, you have to assess the client as far as how much joint stabilization they have. Okay, if you have a client that has spent years in the gyms doing leg extensions, leg curls, and their flexibility is decent, right? They're going to be a lot more able to go a lot more progress, a lot faster than a person that comes deconditioned. So you're going to want to make sure that you assess joint stability, and you'll be able to tell right away. And what the beautiful thing is that we know we need to be aware of that. The beautiful thing is that this won't let them do it much if they don't have joint stability. Okay, so don't expect them to, you have to kind of be aware of that. So it's like, how much do you mix up? When do you mix it up in their training? Does it make sense? Okay, just something to kind of keep aware of. Okay, and then now a skater squat, which we all know when inline skating came out, when you, right? So I'm going to try my test side first. So if I put the right foot on there, you watch me here on this for a second here. I'm going to go down and opposite arm and leg, and drop down that back foot down, and come back to home. So here's home, opposite arm, other arm swings back, drop it down. You're trying to focus on that midfoot, try to keep your chest up. Chaz, what you're doing like that is fine. If you want to stick your toe on the floor first, on the back, put your toe back on the floor. Mike, take a look. Put your right for a second, come back up there. Go for a target. Go for a target, lightly touch your toe, and come back up. I'm not concerned about depth of your upper body. I'm concerned about how much you can drop back, right? Drop your hips back and down. And yeah, try to stay in your midfoot. Exactly. Good. The power of the legs, power of the hip. I don't want you diving too excessive forward. So the challenge is how deep can you go with ultimately how high your chest is. And you're going to find some strength tension relationships that are going to really address themselves to you. And you're supposed to dive down. That's excellent. Athletic stance. Start first, upright, and hit it. Okay? When you pivot your feet, you're going to want to put that front foot down, right? Stabilize. You appreciate, right? You appreciate a connection in this, right? Yeah. Okay, go, right? Boom. Keep that heel. Okay, put your feet a little closer together, Mike. When you turn, wherever that front foot is, land that heel. Land that heel and stabilize. Go. Stabilize. And come back up. Don't drop down so low. Switchbacks. Boom. Boom. Try to do them fast. Plant that front heel. When you turn chest, plant it. Yeah, plant it stable, right? Gotcha. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah, exactly. Okay, that helps. Now you can add shoe ties. Compartmentalize, touch the shoe, come up. And then try to do it flowing, where you go down and do a flowing up, right? Can you see the difference?
Yeah.
Between compartmentalizing and making it one fluid action? Okay? Am I talking about 10,000 progressions or what? Woo! Just a number, right? I like it. Okay, that's nice. So what does it make sure? Okay, you're gonna use your arms to pivot, help twist, throw this, project this with your legs, but to keep this all together, so you can stop and stabilize.